Hello and welcome to Dental Studies Simplified. I am Dr. Ankita Kotecha and today's topic is how to locate or identify mucogingival junction. Basically, I will discuss the topic how to measure the width of attached gingiva. But before measuring the width of attached gingiva, identifying the mucogingival junction is essential. That is why, for your better understanding, to avoid any confusions and easy simplification, I have decided to make the video this topic in two parts. Part 1 will be locating or identifying the mucogingival junction. Once this topic is clear, we will discuss how to measure the width of attached gingiva. So for today's video, that is part 1, we will discuss mucogingival junction. There are mainly 4 methods categorized as visual, functional and anesthesia. And under visual we have again 2 types, direct vision and after staining. Before discussing these methods, let us discuss first what is mucogingival junction. So, in an oral cavity, this is free gingival margin and this is attached gingiva which is stippled and this is the loosely unattached alveolar mucosa. And our target is to locate this mucogingival junction so that we can assess the width of keratinized tissue, and from the keratinized tissue, that is keratinized gingiva, we can obtain the width of attached gingiva. This is the basic idea. So to proceed with measuring the width of attached gingiva, a prerequisite is locating or identifying mucogingival junction, and that is what we are going to discuss in today's video. So to identify this anatomical structure, this junction, mucogingival junction, the junction between mucosa and gingiva, alveolar mucosa and keratinized gingiva. Mind you, I am saying keratinized gingiva and not attached gingiva. This whole structure is keratinized gingiva which has attached gingiva plus the marginal gingiva or free gingiva which is unattached basically. Clear? So 4 methods to detect, to identify, to locate mucogingival junction: visual, functional and anesthesia. Visual has again 2 methods, direct vision and vision after staining. So in direct vision, it is the easiest and by far the most commonly used technique. Direct vision involves direct examination of both the structures, alveolar mucosa and keratinized gingiva. There are clear-cut clinical differences between both the structures in terms of color owing to melanin pigmentation in the gingiva and the texture. Gingiva, that is attached gingiva, is already visible in the picture, is stippled. So it has grainy and rough surface texture, whereas mucosa is a soft shiny structure, no stippling, and that is why it will look smooth and shiny. So owing to such clinical differences in terms of mainly color and texture, we can easily demarcate the junction between the two, the demarcation between the two different structures, and hence identifying the mucogingival junction. This is the first method, direct visual examination. It is the easiest and the most common method used. And it is highly recommended to use visual examination because it doesn't involve any application of external additives or even injecting any solutions as in case with the anesthetic method, and there is no manipulation in terms of functions as it is going to be with functional method. So that is why direct visual examination is by far the easiest and most commonly used and highly recommended method. But if for certain reason there is inability to demarcate between both the structures, that is mainly because of less pigmentation of gingiva or loss of stippling or for any such other reason, if we are unable to decide or locate the mucogingival junction, then we have an option of direct vision after staining. Here we use Schiller's iodine solution or Lugol's iodine solution. Basically an iodine solution which will go and stain the glycogen content. And alveolar mucosa is rich in glycogen content, whereas keratinized mucosa is poor in glycogen content. So alveolar mucosa will give iodopositive reaction, that is it will take up the stain, and gingiva will not take up the stain, it will give iodonegative reaction. And so this position area will get stained. The picture will be somewhat like this. Owing to the stain taken up by alveolar mucosa, this area will look stained and gingiva will be unstained. So that boundary between stained and unstained portion will give us the answer of our mucogingival junction. That boundary between both the structures, the stained portion and unstained portion, is the mucogingival junction. But the drawback, application of stain. That is why it is not recommended in the first place. Yes, you can use it, but not in the first place. The first place will always be given to direct visual examination. Think about patient's perspective also. Any patient would not like to get their oral cavity stained for this reason at least. Clear? So whenever possible, go for direct visual examination followed by the preference to visual examination after staining. At least the advantage is here, it is non-invasive. Of course, the drawback is application of stain, which is quite dirty, but second preference after direct visual examination, which is completely non-invasive and doesn't involve use of any external additives. Clear? This completes the first category of the method to locate the mucogingival junction, that is visual. Two methods, direct visual examination and visual examination after application of staining. Coming to the next method, which is functional method, that is roll test. In the roll test, periodontal probe is held horizontally against the tissues and run from the vestibular aspect towards the gingiva. Basically, tissue mobility is assessed in this case. When a periodontal probe held in a horizontal position starting from the vestibular aspect, that is alveolar mucosa, and run towards the gingiva, the tissue mobility is assessed for. Now, because the alveolar mucosa is a loose tissue, it will tend to lift with the probe. But when it reaches the attached gingiva, because it is attached, this tissue is not mobile and hence it will not lift with the probe and it will not move with the probe. The alveolar mucosa will move with the probe, but attached gingiva will not. This point at which the tissue stops moving with the probe is our mucogingival junction. This is the functional method and called roll test. Basically, running our periodontal probe held in a horizontal position from the vestibule towards the gingiva to assess the tissue mobility. That's it. Clear? This completes functional method of assessing the mucogingival junction. And the last method is anesthetic method. Please note, anesthetic method is of historical interest. It is nowhere used in daily practice nowadays and it is never recommended to do so, because this method involves injecting a local anesthetic solution into the alveolar mucosa, resulting in a bleb-like formation. Now, because it is loose, the bleb formation will form there, but this same bleb cannot form in the same fashion in attached gingiva. So, there is a point, there is a boundary where this bleb formation will stop. This boundary of bleb nearing the gingiva is our demarcation between alveolar mucosa and attached gingiva or keratinized gingiva. And that's how the mucogingival junction is delineated or located. But see, it is invasive procedure, that is introduction or injection of local anesthetic solution into the patient. This is a highly invasive procedure compared to the previous methods, and that is why it is outdated and it is never recommended to do so. Imagine injecting local anesthetic solution just for this matter. No, not recommended at all. When we have other very better performing methods, then why to resort to this method? And that is why this method is outdated and is of only historical perspective. So, to summarize the methods to locate or identify mucogingival junction, first preference goes to direct visual examination, that is the color and texture differences between both the tissues, keratinized gingiva and alveolar mucosa, followed by, if unable to do so for certain reasons, visual examination after staining, that is Schiller's iodine solution or Lugol's iodine solution, which will stain the glycogen portion in the alveolar mucosa. Clear? And then the next method is roll test, which assesses the tissue mobility, that is rolling our periodontal probe from the vestibular aspect moving towards the gingiva. And the last method, which is outdated one, anesthetic test. This completes the topic how to identify or locate mucogingival junction. Coming to the applied aspects, the main applied aspect here is identifying the mucogingival junction allows us to measure the width of keratinized gingiva followed by width of attached gingiva. And the second applied aspect may be the Miller's classification of gingival recession. Identification of mucogingival junction is a prerequisite so as to record the mucogingival junction and hence the gingival recession as per Miller's classification. So that's all for today's video. The topic how to identify, how to locate mucogingival junction is complete here. In the next part of this topic, we will discuss how to measure the width of attached gingiva. I hope the topic is clear to you all the 4 methods. But if you still have any doubts or any queries, feel free to ask me in the comment section below or mail me at my email ID dentalstudiessimplified@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and listening to me. Study well. Have a good day. Stay safe.